This car would probably get better economy if I emptied all this shit out. Hello. This time on CrashTestDummyTV. G'day all. This is a very long-awaited video. A few people have requested this. Most recent, John McCaney. I believe he's in US of A. He wanted a little bit of a closer look at this camper build. So, what better way than to empty, well, I've got to empty the entire lot to show him some of the finer points anyway, but yeah, let's empty. Now, what can you fit in this camper build? Well, we've got an air compressor, we've got a full axe, we've got a full, hang on, full shovel. We have my little pickaxe thing, great for when you're stuck in the mud. Alright, a few more extra bars just for work. Wood splitter. And of course the important cam chairs, 2 of them. And a cooking tripod or 2. And a tomahawk. What else is in there? Oh, I've got to pull that out. I hope you can see this. When I started off this, I started off with the parallel to the car running boards. Now mine, you'll see, has holes here or there. It's actually repurposed marine ply. Now when I did put the panels up, best holders or best mounting points in the car that I found were the rear seatbelt mounts. So obviously I used those first and then built everything off that. So yeah, aluminium plates against the wood just to really tighten that down. But anyway, that's that pocket. This one's easy. That's why that's easy. Now you name it, it's in there. All the tools, rags, bits of stuff. Bought an aerial for it once. I was going to put it on whilst camping. I still haven't. Just all the McGizz McGads that you'll need. Now these runners, these are only really cheap draw runners. In this other build, I'll show you the picture. I did proper runners, probably 40 kilo carrying capacity I think they were, but these ones are probably only 5-10 kilo max. So it's your choice whether you use these. Bearing in mind that there's a lot of camper builds out there where they just use wood. Wood on wood. They don't use hinges at all. So that's that little cavity. Now this one, let's empty my tools. It's just jumper leads and whatnot. Tools obviously. And we've got 1 and 2 of these plastic tubs. Now what I did do when I built this, I had the idea of the drawer I hadn't made, so that can be any size. This offside thing could be any size. So what I did was I put these in first. Then I built around it. Now I've got a trim of wood on the back here to add stability. I probably didn't need to. So if you were building this and it was a little bit lower, reason I say lower is once you put a mattress on this, you've only got, that much space. You've got from there up basically when you've got your mattress in. So one thing I did do for the other camper build, and which I should have done in mine, is drop it down 40 mil, 50 mil, whatever it was that I did the other one. I am going to get a thinner mattress for mine to help again. But in my old car, my old Pajero, I used to be able to sit up cross-legged and my head wouldn't touch the roof. But it was a high-top Pajero, the high-roof Pajero, so that was an advantage. So yeah, plastic tubs fit in there. Now I can actually fit 3 tubs in one length, but I chose 2 and the rear section for the toolbox and so forth. This box, this panel, this vertical panel is one piece. So basically I started off with those 4 vertical pieces and then one piece right on the back to hold it all up, and then I built up from there. So that'd be your first one. You build this upright panel so you can do your top boxes. You can do your faces, you can do your trimming boards and all that sort of thing later. You really want to get the skeleton up first. Think of a house. They get the frame up and then they lock it up then. This marine ply is 18 mil, I think it's 18 mil thick marine ply. In the other car that I did, I used thick marine ply once again for the uprights, but I used thin. I think it's 12 mil or something like that. I can't see that sticker. Yeah, I think it's 12 mil from memory. Same thickness as that. So whatever thickness of that is. No sticker. No. These are your long-term things. You know, tyre pressure, tyre repair kits, coolant, etc, etc. Bit of oil. I think there's globes in there, if not globes in this one. Yeah, got a lead light, funnel, raincoat or a bivvy. I'm the sort of person that'll plan for being stuck in the bush, but not wanting to be stuck in the bush. So yeah, that's what crap's in there. Crescent tools, really good actually. I'm happy with my Crescent. American made, lifetime guarantee. And at least you know you're getting American steel, not Chinese crap. What else? Top boxes. Now this back one is my power box. That's where I keep my inverter, etc. It's just a cheap, it's just a 350 watt max, 300 continuous. And what I also did, I brought power down the back. Now power runs down to here from the front, which is all fused, heavy duty cable, etc. Bring all the power down I can. Every one of these is powered, and all I did there is I used a flash bar. In electricians, the electrician's world, there's what's called a flash bar, which is a huge bar of copper, and they'll drill into that, thread it, and screw into it using that as a hot bar basically, carrying all the current it needs to. So that's what's inside there, and then I've got everything else wired into it, which so far I've only used 2 of the power outlets. So, what else is in there? Cool. So that is my power top box. If I can get everything back in. And I've run plenty of stuff off this. 350 watt I found was plenty. I can run a fluorescent globe off it, as well as an Xbox and a full screen CRT TV. I have modernised. I did have a mount up here for my screen using the rear handle mounts, but the screws I'm using, they weren't grabbing on properly, so every time I'd go over bumps to go camping, I'd have to tighten it up. So I've got to fix that. Second top box is obviously where the wheel arch is. That's my screen holder. Comes off that. What else have I got in here? Spare light, bit of that. There's my fluoro, well, there's a couple of fluoros. She's got a lot of crap in here. I really don't use a lot of this stuff. Oh, and they've got straps too. Okay. Forgot they're in there. This car would probably get better economy if I emptied all this shit out. Third top box. There's a few other things. stacks of other things. Oh, got my binoculars in there, because you always need binoculars. Yes, so that's the third top box. Now these are standard on Mitsubishi Pajero NA models, the mid to late 80s, early 90s I think they still ran them. So if you've got a Mitsubishi wrecker nearby, go and get yourself some of these. These are really good for tying down. If I do take it, this is where I put my fridge. Just sitting on the back and it's strapped on. It's only a little fridge, but I don't take stuff that needs refrigerating. I don't see the point. Now these ones, these are full. These are full as a goog. My first aid kit. I've got raincoats and dries of bones, and my climbing gear. My harness and climbing gear. Because you never know when you need that in the bush. This box, I've used uprights in the corner to make sure it's all tight and wedged up and everything. This face, this is all one piece, drilled out in the corners and then jigsawed to open up the holes for those to go in. I have just used simple magnetic holders here, magnetic latches, because I just figured they'd be easier. This is all my recovery gear. The reason why I put my recovery gear down here on the bottom was worst case scenario and you drown your car, well, this contents down here doesn't matter getting wet. A couple of bits of wood so you can work on. Got a snatch rope, tow rope, steel cable, plenty of D-shackles. When this car goes bush, it's prepared. Bearing in mind this goes right up that way too, all the way up to this area, so there's quite a big amount of space here. Cool. The wheel hump comes down on the bottom shelf, and the flat board that goes straight across, it's cut in. It's got an L shape just to allow for the wheel hump. Then it runs straight across. Hinges, just simple cheap hinges from hardware store. The trimming I did better on the second vehicle, because this is my car, it doesn't really matter. I don't care about too much, but I could dab a little bit of glue in there now and just reattach those. I could also have put a complete aluminium trimming around there. More time, better finish, but yeah, more time. So that's that box. My seat comes back far enough, but obviously you're going to lose your ability to kick your seat back and lie down in it. Recent addition, most recent, is this. Now I wanted to allow for the speaker, but still have a table. So I thought I'll cut a hole. I actually had a wow moment. So I went and got something first. One of these. They're military, they're made in China, but they're 14 centimetre by 8 centimetre metal bowl, enamelled metal bowl, which when I saw that I thought, wow moment. So that's just simply my table. Then goes that. Now you can put a plastic bag over this, then put that on. It'll lock the plastic bag there. You can have it either just as a bin, say you're filleting your fish, cutting them up, chucking your crap in the bin, blah blah blah, flies staying away. Or you might be cutting your veggies, chuck them in the bowl, keep the flies away. So it's very handy. Obviously this is another video, so if you want to see this in more detail how I built it, check that video. These trims, oh, it's glued on. Yeah, these rubber trims you can get from automotive, just look for automotive rubbers on Google, suppliers. Yeah, that's where I got all those from, some small, some big, trim the outside. What else? And just held on by simple, I think they put these on utes, just to hold the canvas roof on, so that's perfect. Oh, these straps, don't know where I got these straps from. I tend to keep some of these things from old bags and that sort of thing because they're very handy, because you may be going away, you can use them for tying your gear down on the motorbike, or in this case, fully adjustable for the table. So yeah, and hinges, they're just gate hinges, but they're slightly bent to allow for the thickness of the board itself. Now it is a very close fit when I close the door, but that's fine, holds everything in. As you can see, very close fit. I'll show you the trap door. When I was building the drawer, I didn't want to do the drawer all the way up because, let's face it, sometimes drawers stick. So what I wanted to do is keep access from the rear of the drawer so you could get in and push it out as well as someone pull it, or whichever. So the idea of the trapdoor came up. Now these are the things that I'm never going to touch unless it's really dire situation out in the bush. So I've got an old military woolen blanket. I've got firelighters. I've got a spare, is this AM or UHF? So this is an AM radio, picnic blanket, and what I've got in this tub is food, plates. I think there's cooking things. Yeah, there's a pot, there's matches, there's firelighters, there's long-term food, things like 2-minute noodles and soup and that sort of thing. Stuff that'll, I think there's a bit of porridge in there too, but yeah, stuff that'll last a long time. Now, this little cavity, I've been able to put other things in there. That's the back of the subby box where all the power comes out, so this is a good little cavity here for running power leads or tarps, things you're not going to touch, and also that don't matter if they get wet if you do take your car through water. The plastic bags are actually good in the bush if you're lost. You wrap them over branches and they collect the condensation so you can have a drink. Cool. So that's the trap door. Unless you want to smuggle some people over the border. Now I'm trying to figure out what you guys want to see, what you need to see when you're going to build one of these yourself. This top piece, from memory, it's 2 pieces. Yeah, I did it 2 pieces, mainly because you can't get it in there in 1 piece. Or did I? Was it 2 pieces or 1? No, I think it was 1 piece from memory. But yeah, worst case, and you have to run it 2 pieces. This line here is probably your best bet. Or even this one, it's up to you. Any of these ribs you can use. But I'm pretty sure it's all 1 piece up until the end of the top box, start of that other one. I basically made that as a separate box and then put it in. What else do I need to show you? Once again, just cheap hinges. All this pine, this was all, that was actually an ex-futon that I got from somewhere. Door handles, just cheap ones from the hardware store. Gate handles, or drawer handles once again. Little hooks, because I couldn't fit one of these big buggers in the corner here, so I just put a little hook. But the idea of the hooks all the way around is just to hold all your stuff down for when you're travelling to your camp spot. Oh, curtains made by me. Sewn on the top and bottom to allow for the stretchy cable to be put through, which runs completely all around the car. Now this here, obviously I've retained 1 out of the 2 rear seats. Now one thing I had to do, if you see, I moved the seat over a little bit. I had to, because I didn't allow, when I was building the subby, I didn't allow the measurement of the thickness of the wood, so I had to come over the thickness of the wood. as you can see, crunch, this is where I've put the amp, raised up, and at least you know that if you go over your wheels, you know, and you start taking in water, then, well, that's when you got to worry. So I've basically kept the radio, the amplifier, the speakers, everything at roughly about this height or higher. Now the subwoofer box is a separate box. It's a sealed box. That's been mathematically worked out for the volume or the literage for two 10-inch subwoofers, and it's got an alright thump in my opinion. Oh, that's a lighting relay for the roof lights. They're your gold massive 30 or 60 amp fuses for the amp and the lights and a few other things, and wiring, etc. goes off running down that side. One thing I did do is separate the power. That's on the right hand side of the car, and I run the speaker cables down the left side of the car. You want to keep it separate because you may have a buzz in your radio that you don't know what it is, and it's probably interference coming in from some power wire into the signal wire. As I said before, this panel is one piece all the way across, and I've left a flap of carpet just to cover up all the wiring behind. This carpet here was already in the car, and it's all marine ply, and I don't have any insulation underneath. Just once again, if it does get drowned, hopefully it'll dry out. All of this black carpet, this is all marine ply as well. It's not as, you know, it's not as, what do they call this, a loop pile, and this one's a plush, or a fur, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, so it's not as rough as this one, so I probably could have used the loop pile, but this fluff's fine, that's fine. Now when I do close up the back, now this panel, just, there's your leg, and that's it. That's in. I put those two ute strap hook things just so it doesn't move. So yeah, job done. Simple as. And obviously you got more storage stuff up here, and you got little cavities everywhere, but you know, depends how much of a trip you're going on. And this upright and all that sort of thing, that's just all pine. I added here just as a spine, because getting in and out of the car here you're going to be bowing the wood, so just added a spine. And obviously on this side you're on top of the subby itself, so there's no need for a spine there. These drawers here, simple type, got to keep it simple. Yeah, it's a bit of a stiff point towards the end, but overall I'm happy with those, and I think I allowed for that too. Thought about putting a top, some sort of top that maybe you can slide out for another table, but how far do you go? Now when I was doing the top box here, wheel arch, and obviously I was left with some space, so I put a little hinge. Now you can't see it, but on top I just did a piano hinge, which are a continual hinge. They come on a roll, and you cut whatever length you need from the hardware store. I think I had gold because it looked pretty, but yeah, I didn't need it. And when I was putting the carpet in, I actually laid the carpet completely over, and just allowed a small length where the hinge was itself. I didn't want to glue the hinge together, so you leave a gap basically, and it also allows for your carpet to gather when you lift it up. The second build I did of this, I split it into two sides, or 2 panels. But in here, this is where I keep extra straps. These make good bin liners, and my jack, if you call it that. So yeah, probably first off, get everything out of the car. Carpet everything. I don't know if you're going to take it off-road, go through water, that sort of thing, but if you are going to take it through water, at least under this L-shaped area, you probably don't want carpet, just because it's going to take a lot longer to dry out if you do get it wet. And even though marine ply is waterproof, well, water resistant, it's not waterproof. It can absorb water if left in water. So yeah, you want to think about that when you're starting your job, because once all this is in, it's in. It ain't moving. So yeah, one piece for the top, cut into manhole and side pod. This upright section is one piece, one piece, one piece, and one piece. And obviously you want to get those 4 pieces first. Get them all contoured underneath and that sort of thing, allowing for the ribs, allowing for cross members. You know, basically the floor is not flat, so get those upright ribs done first. You're going to have to go back, you know, measure cut, measure cut, measure cut continuously, but to get your flat top overall, it's you want to spend a bit of time on that. All these extra bits, they're all offcuts to close in the holes. Now, how did I mount from memory? I don't think I did mount the front that much. Now, from memory, I've only got 3 mounts on this, 2 on the rear, 1 on the front, and I'm happy with it. On the next car that I did, I screwed up through the wheel arch here on both sides, and put a flat plate and bolted up through there. So his is more solid, but mine, I'm happy with just the 3 mount points. So yeah, but you have this one on the other side. You have the 2 hinge bits for your chair on the other side. So you've got plenty of bolt holes that you can bolt onto. If not, drill through the steel and make your own mounting point. I've used 2, maybe 3 mounts in this whole thing, but the weight of it, it's holding it down, it's square inside, it's pressed up against, it hasn't moved. I have heard a creak every now and then, but creaks are creaks, they don't matter. Right, and when I have it packed up, I put that there, just so I can put my other stuff on top, and that little leg stops anything from rolling forward. So that has been a walk around my camper build. I hope that's plenty of information for you, but no doubt I'll get some comments, but I don't mind doing another video if you need specifics. I've got plenty of photos, so I can at least take a photo and respond that way. Cool. I guess I'll show you this. 100mm PVC piping, drill in there, silicone the buggery and for the tap, that's never leaked. Now I did leave this cap threadable because I use these for drinking water when I go away, and just to keep everything sanitary and so forth. I get a very clean mop, never use that mop on the floor, bit of bleach and give it a good clean out on the inside. Yeah, and to fill them up, you just use the top. One thing I didn't do with these, which I should have, was do a little vent. You've got to unscrew this every time, otherwise you get that vapor lock in there. But 1.75 or 1750 mil, 1750 mil length either side, which equates to what, 36 litres kind of thing of water, because when you got 100mm pipe for every 10 centimetres, that's 1 litre of water. There is a guy around the corner that copied my idea, but he went one better. He's put it inside his cage. His cage is a little bit a little bit bigger than mine, and it's a proper cage, not held on by roof racks. But yeah, he went inside the cage and he actually put elbows, so he has a U-shape one. So he's got that little bit extra leaderage, and he's got bends on the front rather than covers, which I've got. But they kind of matched in with the lights. Cool. Oh, my roof is terrible. That's where I don't care about this car, because that roof is horrid. But I don't care. Looks don't appeal to me. It's the mechanicals, the way it works. Groovy. That's it. If I didn't cover anything, I want your comments. I would love to hear from you. Good things or bad things. Maybe things you've done. Maybe things I could have done different. Or if you need to know more of what I did do, just drop me a comment. Groovy. Happy trails. Happy forward driving. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Automotive rebuilding, no, automotive, just look for automotive rubbers on Google.